Witzke with the Candlelight Funeral Home. The joke always is that I'm the last one to see you. Well, tonight I'll be the last one that you see. A large part of my job is meeting with people that are pre-planning their funerals, pre-planning or pre-arranging. And that's it's good because I get to talk with people about how they want to be remembered and what they'd like. That's really the most important part of pre-arranging, is talking to your family, letting your family know what your wishes and desires are. But there are many different options with pre-planning your funeral. It can be as simple as going onto my website, printing out a form that has all the statistical information that, and you can print out the form no matter which funeral home you want to use. They're all going to ask for the same information. Or you can fill the form out and submit it to me. Or you could also prepay for your funeral. Now, a lot of times people have different reasons for wanting to pre-fund their funeral. The biggest of which is when you're trying to spend down assets so that you can apply for Medicaid. And in the state of Maryland, when you prepay for your funeral, we put that money, the funeral director puts that money in an insurance policy that can be irrevocably assigned for the funeral expenses. So it's outside of your estate as far as Medicaid is concerned. One of the nice things about that is you've got total ability to transfer it somewhere else. As Lisa mentioned about people changing their minds, if you change your mind that you're going to move to another area, or if the funeral home that you pre-planned with gets bought by a corporation and you've decided that you want to use a family-owned funeral home, you have the ability to transfer those funds to another funeral home. Something else that I want to speak about is veterans. People that, if you're a veteran, the Maryland State Veterans Cemetery has 5 different cemeteries, and not too far from here, that they provide a grave opening, a grave, a marker, all at no charge to the veteran. The spouse can be buried with the veteran at a very nominal fee. And you've been interred in a veteran cemetery, which is a nice honor. Lots of private cemeteries will advertise to veterans that they have veteran sections. They do that because the veteran cemeteries can't advertise. So it sounds like it's a good idea to get a free grave if you buy one for your spouse and you pay all the other fees, but just be aware that you can get everything for free or for very little expense if you're a veteran. I was also asked about cremation. And cremation, there's many different ways that can take place. Cremation's not really the final disposition. It's another process that takes place between the death and the final disposition. And just like you can have a burial with no ceremony, with no visitation or embalming or viewing or anything, you can do the same thing with a cremation, which is often referred to as a direct cremation. Or you can have a visitation. We have caskets that are available for rental. You can have a mass at a church, then have the cremation. But once the cremation has taken place, you still need to do something with the cremated remains. And I was asked to read this. This is from the Order of Christian Funerals. It's the second appendix regarding cremation and the church's position on cremation. And it is that cremated remains of a body should be treated with the same respect given to the human body from which they come. This includes the use of a worthy vessel to contain the ashes, the manner in which they are carried, the care and attention to the appropriate placement and transport, and the final disposition. The cremated remains should be buried in a grave or entombed in a mausoleum or columbarium. The practice of scattering cremated remains on the sea, from the air, or on the ground, or keeping cremated remains in the home of a relative or friend of the deceased are not the reverent disposition that the church requires. Whenever possible, appropriate means for recording with dignity the memory of the deceased should be adopted, such as a plaque or a stone which records the name of the deceased. So that's the position of the church on cremation. And if you have any other questions, I'll be available afterwards if you want to talk about specifics for anything regarding anything you might have. Thank you.